Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time to have a look at the Summer Extreme event. It looks like we are getting a standard Summer Quest event as usual when it comes to War Thunder. If you've played the last few, this one really hasn't changed that much. Just the vehicles, the decorations, decals, and overall style of it. So, the marks of distinction are the same. Basically, you need 40,000 mission points every 2 days in rank 3 or higher of vehicles to be able to get the corresponding star for the individual game mode. So if you want to get a tanker star, you need to get 40,000 mission points in the ground modes. Then if you want the pilot, air modes, and sailor, naval modes. There are obviously points multipliers based on different vehicle ranks, and also difficulty level is also in the task description as well. One of the things that's also interesting is you can still use rank 1 event vehicles and higher, which is quite nice. They're also bringing back the gambling mechanics from previous ones, so if you want to gamble away all of your SL, they have an ice cream bucket that you can do that with if you feel like it. But overall, the event is pretty much exactly the same as what we saw in the winter event, and also the summer event from last year. So let's get into the new stuff, the vehicles. So there are 4 vehicles, starting off with the PZSPWG P204F. KWK Tank Destroyer. This basically is at level 5 of the Marks of Distinction for ground. It's the only premium that's actually on offer for this event, and it is a rank 1 German premium. What this is something you've probably seen before, which is the AMD 35 chassis, which has access to an open-top turret, which has a 50mm gun on it, or the 5cm KWK cannon. The Germans, once they obviously invaded France and took it over, created the Vichy government. Also, at the same time, they reused a lot of vehicles that the French had, basically because of the fact that a lot of them were actually pretty good, and also, at the same time, if you have a bunch of free technology sat around, you might as well use it, which is what kind of happened here. So, this is just an upgunned version of the AMD 35 that you see in the standard tech tree, but will be in the German tech tree with a 50mm. This one should actually be pretty potent. Depending on the gun traverse, it should be very nice, but also at the same time, that 50 is nothing to joke about. You know, the Puma has gone up in BR many times because of that 50 and its overall penetration. This one should be mobile and a little bit of fun. Looks quite nice as an event vehicle. For 8 marker distinctions for naval, you can get the HMS Renown, the good old battle cruiser. Now, there's one reason why I'm happy to see this thing, well, maybe 2. The first one being the fact that it's British and also very famous in its overall setup, but the main reason why I'm actually really happy to see it is so it stops getting put on the fake leak lists, because it's very much a simple vehicle to kind of put on there, because it's very much believable. The HMS Renown is actually coming in as its most complete upgrade, so basically it's 1944 variant, which meant that it now has 10 twin universal mounts with 114mm guns on it, which is quite nice. Also has 40mm pom-pom guns and twin barrel 20mm as well. So therefore it will be quite nice to be able to beat stuff with. At the same time, it has 381mm main guns, which will also help it out, giving it a ton of firepower. But as a battle cruiser, going up against battleships, it does have the issue of not having as much armor as many of the other ones. It has a 229mm armored belt, as well as a 102mm armored deck. So the most vulnerable areas are the main turrets with the barbettes, capable of surviving no more than cruiser fire. So that's a bit of a problem for the vehicle, only having access to that limited armor. But if you want a taste of high-tier naval gameplay and you don't want to grind to it, you can get this. It's going to be at rank 5, but also going to be an event vehicle, meaning that, of course, you will not get access to any of the modifications when you unlock it. Britain does have quite a few pretty fun vehicles around those BRs, and some of them are actually getting decreased in BR, so it might be worth grinding them out now, especially during the event, to have a bit of fun with them. For 8 marks of distinction for air, you get another SU-25. So if you haven't played the standard SU-25, the premium SU-25, or the upgraded SU-25, or the SU-35, I believe it's called, probably SU-39, then you can actually play this, the SU-25BM, which is still going to be in the USSR tech tree, and still going to be a rank 7 event vehicle. The difference between this and many others is it has a more powerful engine. It also has a hood, an MFD in the cockpit, and also a fire and forget set of weapons, the KH-29T and the Cab 500KR. This is a vehicle which should be pretty good when it comes to the general ground forces if you have it spaded, because you'll have access to weaponry which will work really well for it, but also at the same time there's a reason why you haven't really heard anything about the SU-25T and the premium SU-39, because they're now at a BR where they just get absolutely hounded, unlike the standard SU-25s that we've seen. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what goes on. They have decided to give this thing the R73 though, so that will probably give it a little bit of an edge over its counterparts, but at the same time, you're probably looking at a vehicle which is going to be even higher BR than what you've seen before. So grinding those things out is going to be pretty much hard to do. According to this, it does say the special SU-25BM will be an excellent alternative to the basic version of the SU-25. I mean, maybe, because it's good, but the problem is it's going to be a much higher BR than it, so I don't really understand how that's comparable. I mean, and if they are the same BR, then that's just ridiculous. But yeah. At the same time, it can carry 2 of the KH-29Ts, which are pretty powerful. We'll have to see what the optics look like on the vehicle. That's usually the giveaway on a vehicle like this. And also, if it gets the IRCM or not, it looks like it does on the tail, but I can't really tell in a big way. So yeah, it's the main thing is it gets access to more weaponry. It's going to be more powerful in that regard. But the real question is the airframe good enough to be able to hold itself at that higher BR? For 8 marks in ground, you get the Patria CTCV 105 HP tank destroyer. So this is pretty much a Patria chassis, which has access to the Cockerell CTCV 105 HP turret with the 105mm rifled gun. This is going to be for Sweden. It's also going to be rank 6, and they're going to give it pretty crazy APF SDS, which should be pretty fun. Basically, the turret itself is the same turret you find on the CV90 105 XC8, so it will be able to fire heat, HESH, APF SDS, all of that wonderful stuff. And also, it has this machine, the Patria, has a autoloader in it, basically because it's the same turret of 12 shots. So it should have a really good reload on it, should be able to dish out a lot of damage, and also should be lower in BR than the standard CV90 105, which basically means you can have the same firepower at a lower BR. Or it might be the same BR, but I would actually put it at a lower one. The Patria chassis is pretty chunky, and also at the same time, it's not going to be as mobile as the CV90 105, or at least most of the time. It does actually have a high power to weight ratio. It doesn't actually say it when it comes to the dead block, so we'll have to see how that goes. But it has access to the thermal imager, smoke grenades, and of course scouting, since this thing is a light vehicle. So overall, it's a good addition to the Swedish lineup. There's a lot of fun light tanks at those BRs already, so why not another one? Why not have a bit of fun? For the other prizes for the event, there are some decals which are on offer. There are 5 of them, basically. So there are 2 for the Marks of Distinction for pilots, 1 for tankers, and 2 for the sailors. And if you collect all 5 of them, and they do look really nice, you know, they're basically just summer extreme sporting events, which are lovely, you will get a bonus decal, a skateboarding decal. which will be received on your account. So there is a complete all the collection type of thing. This means that you'll probably have duplicates of these decals, so just take that into account if you're trying to like sort them out. Can be a bit annoying at the end of the day when that happens, but at the same time, you know, it's you do have the market to be able to get to exchange them, and then also on console you should be able to just straight exchange them anyway to be able to get the collection. For the decoration side of things, you have the BMX decoration, which is at 6 marks of distinction for ground, and will go on to ground vehicles. Does look quite nice. And then also you have the jet ski naval decoration, which is at 6 marks of distinction. Not really great, these two. Nothing too crazy. Usually the naval one's pretty awesome, but c'est la vie this time. At 6 marks of distinction for aviation, you also have the player icon, which is a lady riding a motorbike, which looks really nice. So you can go there. I think she's maybe riding it through some kind of Chinatown or something like that as well. So yeah, looks alright. So hopefully people do enjoy that. All of the other marks of distinction are either the RNG loot boxes, or they are, of course, the camouflages for the vehicles, and, of course, the coupons for them. So they're continuing with what they were doing previously when it comes to the vehicles and also the decals, making them all coupons. But with the vehicles, you have to get to mark of distinction 10 to be able to upgrade the vehicles to a coupon, meaning that you can only sell them if you get to 10 marks of distinction, which is there. The main thing is none of this stuff has really changed since last time. I do have my issues with the 40k points every 2 days for all 3 game modes. I think that's something that needs to be looked at and needs to be changed. Also, at the same time, if you miss any marks, you can purchase them for Golden Eagles if you want to. So you can just G the event if you feel like it. And then also at the same time, the coupons will be available for trading on the market from the 1st of September. So basically after the event itself. Everything else is pretty much, you know, the same that you've seen previously in other ones. I'm going to be streaming the event and trying to get it done. Hopefully you will have a good time with it as well. Cover any news if there is any changes, but I doubt it since this looks like a pretty standard event. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Millie Draper, Juan the Panda, Nick R. Kupila, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Merciless Reaper, Orange Tail, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Moxie B. Young, Peter Grayling, Jerry Provolt, Bareen, Alan Hacker, Sem Arslan, Uncle Bean, Derek R., and Lafouche for supporting the channel.